Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Caitlin Magtoto, the Program Officer at Asia Society Philippines, and we would like to welcome you to another exciting Eyes on Asia iteration. Eyes on Asia is a program of Asia Society Philippines which aims to highlight and promote understanding of an Asian country or region through its policy, culture, and arts, spanning discussions and activities to discover what is beyond the surface, always in pursuit of our mission to bridge and promote people to people understanding. We bring you the Southeast Asian Food Crawl, where we take a bite on all things culture and, of course, food, because what is one of the best ways to understand a culture? Our first stop in this three-part series is Thailand. For today's menu, and to help make the experience even better, a very dear friend and partner of Asia Society Philippines, Manila House, and Chef Piya Suthasiri has arranged pad thai and chayan kits for many of our audience today. We're not just going to talk about it, we'll also be tasting the rich flavors of Thai cuisine. To everyone and to those who already have their delicious kits, sit back, join the conversation, and take a bite. With that, I will not take more of your time and leave you to an always amazing host, the Director of PR and Arts, Culture and Education Programming of Manila House, Miss Bambina Olivares. Miss Bambina, thank you again, and please take it away.
Sawadee ka, I guess we should be saying today because we're focusing on Thailand. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank you for tuning in. On behalf of Manila House, this is Bambina Olivares, Director of Programming, welcoming you all and Asia Society members, Manila House members, and everyone to today's event. As Caitlin mentioned, Asia Society Philippines is a very dear partner and friend of ours, so we're really happy to be doing this. We had been talking about this for some time, and a couple of years, in fact, but because of the pandemic, we were never able to do this inside the club. But we're happy to be able to do this with you virtually. And we're really happy to partner once again with Asia Society because if this is your first time online with Manila House, let me just tell you that we're a private members club that opened in February 2017 with the aim of bringing together an assemblage of people from the business, creative, culture, and intellectual communities who are drawn to each other by a shared interest to continuously learn about art, culture, food, business, politics, and so on from the diversity of our fellow members, from each other and from the diversity of the fellow members themselves. And so that said, for non-members among us, you might like to consider membership to Manila House. We always welcome Asia Society members. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, please email membership@manilahouse.com for more. Sorry, that's membership@manilahouseinc.com for more information. And I hope you're enjoying your delicious pad thai food boxes. Please be informed that we are open for dine-in to fully vaccinated members and guests. And our takeaway service is open to the public. So please call us on 0917-816-3685 to place your orders. And you can always have pad thai and other amazing Thai dishes. So with that, I'll segue to Thai food, which we have authentic Thai food at Manila House. Thanks to our executive chef, a native Thai, Chef Piya Suthasiri. Thai food is everyone's favorite Asian cuisine, and pad Thai is the go-to dish when everyone goes for Thai food. So let me just tell you a little bit more about Chef Piya Suthasiri. He'll be doing a demo of how to make pad Thai. So he's teaching you a real classic, a real Thai classic. Chef Pia has been with us for some time. He was working for around 20 years in resorts around the world, including Amanpulo. He was last in the Maldives. He was also in Langkawi in Malaysia, Phuket, and Candaya Resort here in the Philippines. And he brings with him a passion for creating hearty dishes infused with fresh and subtle flavors that surprise and delight. So for us at Manila House, he cooks everything, of course, but his Thai dishes have become much loved classics, and you're having one of them today, pad Thai, but also tom yam gong, the soup, crispy catfish and sour mango salad with Chef Pia's own twist, and mango sticky rice. So, as Chef Pia says, I would like to bring unique flavors and authenticity of Thai food and Southeast Asian cuisine as additions to the Manila House menu. So, Chef Pia, can I turn over to you and you can tell us a little bit of what you're doing for us today?
Hello everyone, สวัสดีครับ as Miss Mabina said, my name is Piya Suthasiri and I'm from Thai. My originally is my hometown is Phuket. So before here, I was working in Maldives, and today, since mentioned about pad Thai and chayen, actually it's a very common dish that people in Philippines always know. Actually, around the world know pad Thai. Uh, it's kind of street food, but we are commonly eat anytime. It could be breakfast, it could be lunch, dinner, it could be snack time, and chayen we have the whole day as well. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for bringing me here. It's honor to be here actually. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Chef, for that introduction. We'd like to show you a little demo right now. Um, we'll play it in a few seconds.
Wake up, my name is Piya Suthasiri. I'm executive chef of Manila House, and as you know, I'm Thai. So today we will present you Thai food, and it's very common dish that everyone knows about. So pad Thai. So the main ingredient which is important for pad Thai, beside water, is sauce. So I will show you the ingredient of the sauce of pad Thai. And the process is very simple. So this is the sauce after we finish the product. So the ingredient is there's a dry tamarind, there's dry chili, onions, coriander root, lemongrass, garlic, galangal, palm sugar. Where as you can see, the sugar is different than what you have in the Philippines. Fish sauce and the peppercorn. So that's the basic ingredients. So let's begin with the cooking. The ingredients of the pad Thai. So you have the sliced red onion. You have green curd, deep fried and cut. You have chive, garlic chive, cut around 1 to 2 inches long. You have toasted peanut, brown. You have bean sprout, and here we have dry shrimp. So basically, the dry shrimp in Thailand is kind of bigger and no salt, but the dry shrimp we get in Philippines kind of more salty. So we toast it and we grind powder for the flavor. We have egg, fresh egg, lime, and condiment with the chili flakes, fish sauce, and sugar. So this will be put during before you eat it. And of course, rice noodle, where it's already been soaked. So raw products like this, you just have to soak in the water around half hour, half hour to 45 minutes. So this dish will not require any more additional water. Of course, there's a cooking oil. So we begin the process. So for cooking Thai food, usually at home we're using wok. So here we have different kind of wok. According to the market, you can find, and you can see it's quite big because we used to cook more than one order. So begin, you heat the pan, and then you place with the oil. So while you're waiting for the oil about to get really hot, go in with red oil. By the way, I'm introducing Chef Casey, my assistant. She's a sous chef. So you start to cook the onion first, just slightly cooking. So at the same time, add shrimp. So you can see I cook the shrimp like around slightly half cooked. So the onion start to get brown as well. I'm going to add egg. And then when you do pad Thai, you don't want egg to be like fully scrambled. So you just have to wait until the egg white slightly cooked. when you break it, so you will see color of the egg. Different, you have white, you have egg yolk. So an egg cooked, and then have noodle, which is already sold. So as you can see, we didn't put any water in Thai noodle, so it should not get soggy. So this kind of noodle actually it gets softened when you put in oil. You can see now the noodle is already softened. It's softened and it's sticky. So this is time you need to put sauce. So it's up to you. You like it a bit more dry. Some people like it a bit more saucy. So you can add up sauce according to your own taste and you put at home. You can see it's almost cooked. Now the last thing to do is to add some other ingredients. So we have peanut, bean curd, bean sprout, chive, and just a bit of dry shrimp. So we use powder. This is for the additional flavor. Just mix it well. That's it. Done. So we're gonna plate this. So in Thailand, actually, pad Thai are very common and you can find everywhere. So almost like ordinary street food where you can buy and then take away. So before, when I was young, pad Thai usually when you buy takeaway, it will come wrapped in a banana leaf. So I put the banana leaf just for a touch. Now you're gonna add shrimp. It's perfectly cooked. You can see it's still hot. Then Thailand, you will have some condiment with it. You will have some peanut. So if somebody likes to add more peanut, you have some bean sprout, you have chive, and some coriander. That's it. So in the Thailand, you will have condiment or chili flakes. You have sugar, the fish sauce. So this one you adjust according to what your taste. So here we go. Pad Thai.
Thank you so much, Chef. That was very simple, didn't you think? And very tasty. Chef, can I just ask you? I hope you guys have been able to taste Chef Pia's pad thai. Chef, am I correct in saying that the Thai government has protected this recipe? Like there's a basic pad thai recipe already that's considered the standard for Thailand? Am I right?
For It's not kind of protected, but for Thai people, we tend to keep everything original as much as possible. So that's how we do it. The dish actually pad Thai was created during the World War II by
Mm-hmm.
Jompon Po Pibun Songkham. His name is Jompon Po. Before he became prime minister, he was actually in the military. So during the World War II, we have a crisis over flood and expensive of rice because Thai people we are rice eater, so we eat a lot of rice, no matter what food, even just with fish sauce, we will eat rice. So the rice become expensive. So in order to help the country, he was creating to uh, make people eat more noodles like Chinese or other national do to reduce the consumption of rice because making rice noodle like 1 kilo of rice you can make a lot more of rice noodle. So so that's the
Oh.
reason why. Yeah. And on the beginning it was a debate during the time back around what, 1930.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a debate like, oh, we're not gonna eat noodle because noodle is from China. We are Thai. We're not gonna do the same thing. So like in Malaysia now they call it cha kway teow. So it's a rice noodle. Also
Mm-hmm.
in Vietnam they call phở. So there's a variety of the rice noodle. So Thai people try to create something new. So in the help of Royal Palace kitchen, so they create something. We have a lot of tamarind. So by how you call this influence people then adapt or changing in the recipe in the process, so that's why it become pad thai today. And nobody know exactly when they call pad thai because the last time when they said pad thai was called pad kway teow. Kway teow is like noodle.
Uh-huh.
It's a Chinese word kway teow, like cha kway teow. So pad kway teow still sounds like a Chinese word. So okay, so they said pad kway teow thai, that is the first word of become pad Thai.
And
So they remove kway teow. Yeah.
can you use can you use a different noodle to make pad thai? Does what it has to be rice noodles?
Nowadays we have it with the glass noodle. We have it with the big flat noodle. Some people even do it with the spaghetti. So actually now it's become like as much as you like, you can change any noodle you like. But the remain of the sauce and the ingredient is make it unique pad Thai. So like I said, it was created from the rice noodle. So that's why if talking about originally, it will go back to a rice noodle, the same thing.
And have you made any kind of changes to your pad thai, like any kind of adaptations or innovations? Do you
In my
experiment with it?
I have tried, but for me, I still prefer to have pad thai as original way. I have tried to explore with the glass noodle,
Okay.
many kind of way, but still like,
Uh-huh.
the flavor from the childhood that you had when you were young, is still like that. I think that's the
Yeah.
best. So I tend to keep it that way.
But you said this was during the war. What year would that be? It was created during the war.
Uh, in because Thai year is different. In legal, I mean, international year was called it 1930. Around 1930 was
Okay.
created.
Okay. So what about older people who didn't grow up with that because it was created only in the 1930s? What was their reaction? Do you know how they reacted to pad thai when it was first offered?
My grandma would say like, I'm not gonna eat that. It's
Really?
Chinese noodle. But after when it was promoted, and of course it's got to be influenced by the royal palace and the
Yeah.
princess, the people influence. Then they start to eat. They start to, oh, it tastes good. Then we're going to eat, and then it become famous. So people start to like it and keep it that way. So
Okay, so once it had the royal seal of approval, then
something like
everybody,
that.
yeah,
Something like that.
adopted it. Yeah. Are there any other Thai dishes we can pair with pad Thai for a full menu? It goes with everything, right? But how would you suggest to build a Thai meal if you wanted to, if you were to come to Manila House, let's say someone were to come to Manila House to order a Thai meal, what are the must-haves that you would recommend? I mean, I imagine pad Thai, but what else can you Do you start with pad thai? Do you start with the satay? Do you start with a crispy salad?
I would say is go well with everything on the table, almost like a family style. So pad thai as a main dish itself. So you have chicken satay, you have catfish salad. Uh, Actually, if you want to have curry, we have pork ribs with the black pepper. It also goes well with it.
So you suggest family style eating.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. And everybody shares.
yeah. It's more
Um,
fun that way.
yeah. And what else about what makes what are the flavors that characterize Thai food? I think how do you differentiate it from, we all a lot of Southeast Asian cuisines say they use lemongrass, they use
Yes.
basil. What makes Thai food different? What is the combination that makes it different from, say, Vietnamese or
Uh,
Indonesian?
for Thailand, everyone know us as a chili eater. Like we are eating a lot of chili and the spicy
Mhm.
flavor. But it's not only that; it's a good balancing between spicy and the sourness and the sweetness. And we're not gonna eat salty flavor.
Mhm.
So if you go to Vietnam, the people will eat saltiness very little, very mild. But in Thailand, they will eat like almost everything has to be well combined, even if it's gonna be like strong flavor, but it has to be well combined. So that is separate our flavor from the rest
And what's your personal favorite?
of the spicy level.
Yeah.
I prefer spicy food actually. In Thailand, if you talk about the food in the south or my area, we're eating a lot of chilies.
Hmm. But
So spicy is something I like. Yeah,
Filipinos don't really like very spicy food, right?
I know.
Do you get frustrated sometimes because for you maybe the flavor becomes fuller when it's spicier?
No, actually, it's not. It's more fun, like okay, I came to Philippines and start to cooking Thai food, and the people said, chef, it's too spicy, they're not going to be able to eat it. And when you start to okay trim down the spicy level, they start to enjoy Thai food, and
Yeah.
see people enjoy Thai food is actually make me happier.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by time, believe me, people who eat now less spicy will consume more chili in the later. And nowadays I
Really?
can see, yeah, even
Yeah.
our sous chef now can eat chili. So when I first came in, she cannot take any chili. Now she
Yeah.
starts eating chili. So I'm
But
enjoying seeing them.
I have another question here. There's also pad thai made. I mean, it's very popular in the Philippines. So you have other chefs, also not Thai chefs, who make the pad thai. Do you have any comments about what you've tasted by local chefs of pad
Yeah,
thai?
I did. I mean, uh, what I try to understand is okay, they like pad Thai of
Mhm.
Thai flavor, and they try to copy the flavor. And I understand that maybe you cannot find the ingredients or something like when we used to do Thai food. So it
Mhm.
takes a lot of effort to get ingredients correctly. So I have tried pad Thai here in Philippines made by Filipino with the hoisin sauce. I
Yeah.
have tried I have
Oh,
tried
really? With
to
hoisin?
yeah with the hoisin sauce. Uh, I tried pad Thai with the banana ketchup. I have tried that as well.
Yeah.
So I mean it's how you call this? I feel proud to be Thai, and of course, it's more proud to see the people trying to copy your food and
Mhm.
create your food, and in the same time, like you encounter another flavor where you didn't
Yeah.
expect it. If I put my mind like, oh, I am so Thai, it has to be like this way, then there will be no more exploration for our food because the
Yeah.
food is all about exploring. So,
Yes, that's true. But Chef, I had another question for you. What about tell us about the iced tea, the Thai iced tea, the chayan
yeah.
that you said. What makes it different? What makes it Thai?
Uh, Thai, we have this loose tea. It's very actually it's a common tea. Seems like in Vietnam, in Malaysia. In Malaysia, they call it teh tarik. So teh tarik is the loose tea you brew in the it's a piece of cloth, a hanging cloth, and you pour water. So you brew the
Okay.
tea and then you start to mixing with the milk, and you just pour it over to get the, how you call this, the foam. Like
Ah.
Western country, they will use the foamer, right? Like cappuccino,
Yeah,
they will
yeah,
foam the
yeah.
milk. But the tradition way, they just pour in the long distance to create the foam out of milk. So I believe that is inherited from India. So from the
Mhm.
root of the food culture, the India actually have a long trade with Thailand,
Mhm.
Cambodia, Laos,
Yeah.
Vietnam, and Malaysia. So basically, we inherit a lot of technique from there also.
Mhm.
So that is one of the remaining.
Yeah.
In Thailand, we call it cha yen. Malaysia call it teh tarik, but pretty much the same. And
Okay.
we will debate who's better. It's non-stop argument.
Matter of taste, right?
Matter of,
Yeah. And for yourself, when you're cooking at home, when you're off, you're not cooking for work, do you tend to cook Thai food?
yes,
Yeah, you do that. That's
yes,
your comfort food.
yes. My wife is complaining. Actually, yesterday also I was cooking. Uh,
Yeah.
And for Thai people, every time we go somewhere, I mean, in my house, you will see all my fences is all edible. We all have all the herbs are edible, so I
Uh-huh.
cook at
Uh-huh.
home a lot. And my wife is complaining now. She's gained almost 10 kilos since I came back to Philippines. So yeah,
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Maybe can I bring in Joy Alampay? Oh, sorry. We have another question. Aside from pad thai, which dish probably represents Thai cuisine the most? What's this probably second most popular dish?
I would say Tom Yam Kung.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone know Tom Yam Kung. So
Yeah. And that's
so
spicy shrimp soup, right?
yes. So Tom Yam, people heard the name Tom Yam because it's a spicy soup and the taste is spicy. But actually Tom Yam is mean Tom in Thai language means boil. Yam
Oh.
is mean salad. Yeah. Yam is a term of Thai people used to make the food mix together as a salad. So in the term of Tom Yam, it means you bring the salad to boil as a soup. So it should be combined between spicy, saltiness, sour, and the
Uh-huh.
creamy. Yeah. So Tom Yam also have many variety. So I would say Tom Yam Kung is one of very famous Thai food.
And do you because sometimes with Filipino food, when you have soup is very much a part of Philippine cuisine, right? And you sit at the table and you have the soup. You sort of can pour the soup into a bowl and you have rice and you eat it together and you eat it throughout the meal. Is it the same with Thai food, or you should finish the soup first and then move on to
No,
other?
exactly the same.
Oh,
Exactly the way
really?
of eating is the same. Yes.
Yeah. So they have it all throughout the meal
Yeah.
also. It's not like
The
a
family,
first course
the
only.
familiarity between the Filipino food and Thai food is that we are family oriented. So
Yeah.
our home is the heart of the country, right? So everyone will gather around the table. And in
Mhm.
Thailand, even though you don't have a table, you eat on the mat. So all the food will be laid out on the center,
Uh,
and they
yeah.
will eat together. So either there will be soup there will be salad there will be stir
Mhm.
fry, there will be noodle there. It will be on the table. So just eat what you like during the time.
Oh, nice. And is there any Filipino dish maybe that's close to a Thai dish? Have you found any? I mean, we have bagoong, right? I mean, you have your own version
Yeah,
of
we have
bagoong.
much more stingier, we have much more saltier bagoong in Thailand. uh, I like bagoong here in Philippines because the shrimp, the bagoong that I can find here is close to the local bagoong I get in Thailand. So the
Okay.
bagoong that I get from my hometown, I cannot get in other part in Thailand even, but I can get it here in Philippines. So
Oh,
we have
okay.
we have similarity
Yeah.
of the food.
What other similarities have you noticed?
I find the food like Bicol Express or something that which is used chili mostly like in Bicol. The
Hmm.
food very similar to us because it has coconut milk base. I'm sure there's a lot of coconut there, so Thai people use a lot of coconut as well. So it's very similar in flavor.
Yeah.
And some dish which is like has lemongrass, like we call it tinola.
Mm-hmm.
So in Thailand also we have similar soup like a tinola. We call it tom chir. but just different ingredients, different way of presenting it.
And can I ask what dishes you'd like to add to the Manila House menu, the Thai dishes that you want more people to know about that maybe aren't so popular yet?
Uh, I think I'm going to introduce more the food from northeast region of Thailand.
Mhm.
Could be salad, and in that region in Thailand we eat sticky rice as the main. It's not eating
Oh,
steamed rice. So yeah, so I want to introduce that in the future because the food there can make less spicy as well. Because if I introduce the food from my region, it cannot do because the main base is a chili. So I have to find to find
yeah.
some right food for it.
Okay. And then you also introduced something lamb, right?
We have
Thai,
lamb
Thai
curry, we
people.
call masaman. Yeah,
Yeah, they
masaman.
also cook with lamb, right? And lamb, of course, we don't really cook. Filipinos don't really cook lamb, right? We don't breed or include it in our cuisine. It's
Even in
usually
Thailand, yeah. Even in
it's
Thailand,
rare. It's also rare
it's
in
rare.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So masaman is from south because the familiarity of masaman is close to rendang in Malaysia.
Yeah,
And south of Thailand, we have a lot of Muslims. So Muslim, they don't eat pork. They eat
yeah,
goat and lamb. So that's a dish from them.
yeah. Chef, I just wanted to clarify. There's a question here about what we can pair with pad thai, but we've already said that. You said pad thai goes with everything, like family style eating, is
Yeah,
how you
satay,
recommend with
salad.
other
Yeah,
dishes. Yeah, and you have it all together, right?
you can try even to put the pad thai with liampo or dinasal na manok. Also, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it goes well. Or pork barbecue, right?
Yes,
You can do that.
I
And
I
then
tried the Filipino food. They call it what nilasing na hipon, the shrimp
uh-huh.
that soak in alcohol. I tried that
Yeah,
with pad thai just 2 days ago. I like it.
yeah. There was a question that just flashed on the screen. Filipinos like cooking and serving noodles in big batches cooked ahead of time. Is that does that go with pad thai, or does authentic pad thai have to be put together fresh and served at the same time like they do with street hawkers? Because you said it was street food also, right?
Yes. Uh, the noodle like in Philippines, like pancit canton, when you cook, is tend not to get sticky. It's not to get like a piece of cake, but it do with the rice noodle. So generally, rice noodle, the idea is if it's hot, it's much better to eat that way. Or else, if you take away like uh, before you eat it, you just microwave it or something like that. But I would say Thai food is like cook fresh, we eat fresh
So
as
eat
soon
as
as
soon as
possible.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
And we also know a lot about sticky mango rice, right, as dessert. What other Thai desserts you think should be more popular or better known?
We have very similar dessert like in Philippine cuisine. I mean, we have cassava. We
Mhm.
have many dessert like glutinous rice in coconut milk, where
Oh
we serve
yes.
during like the cold season or
Mhm.
some place cold in Thailand, like in north. Other than that, our Thai dessert is contain heavily sugar and a lot of egg yolks, so not really healthy. But uh, something that Filipino would like is similar to halo halo Thai dessert as well. You have
Mhm.
crushed ice with a lot of condiments, so I think pretty much the same.
And you were saying about the sugar. Is that palm sugar? Usually palm sugar or white sugar?
We use palm sugar and white sugar together. It depends on which dessert, but mainly naturally we use palm sugar or coconut sugar.
Mhm. Well, coconut sugar is healthier, right?
I would say anything you eat too much is not good. So
Okay. I don't know if there are any more questions that you haven't answered yet. Um, just let's go back to the authentic, the qualities of pad thai. What are the must-haves in a pad thai that make it authentic?
rice noodle,
Mhm.
we need dry shrimp, we need bean sprout, and chive, garlic chive. That's the one that you have in the condiment box. Peanut, toasted and grounded. And pad thai you can change from shrimp to soft shell crab. You can change to chicken, pork, beef, whatever you like. And the one main ingredient that need to be pad thai is tamarind sauce. So the tamarind sauce, the sauce is the what control the pad thai taste. So the rest actually it's up to you. You can have it with the cabbage. You can have with the banana heart if you like to eat raw vegetable.
Hmm. Okay, so those are things you can add that don't make
Yes,
it
ma'am.
too inauthentic. They still um, express the authenticity of Thai food, of the pad Thai. Okay.
Let's say if you do stir fry noodle like in Malaysia way of char kway teow,
Mhm.
they have rice noodle, they have kale, they have chicken. But if they change the sauce to our tamarind sauce, I would call it pad thai the same. So so I would say the taste of sourness and sweetness of the pad thai would keep the character of
Yeah,
the dish.
yeah. What other souring agents can you use?
Lime,
If not
Thai are
lime.
very much lime.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I think everybody got some amazing cooking tips today and learned a little bit more about Thai food. Can I bring in Joy Alampai, Executive Director of Asia Society, to join us? Joy, are you hungry?
Hi, hi. I
Hello.
know I had my share of the box. So thank you to Manila House and Chef, and also my Chayan is beside me. So I just need to add ice. Anyway, Thai food is especially close to my heart because we lived in Thailand for 7 years. So I'm particularly interested in learning more because that's something I wasn't able to do because the food is so cheap and that you can just buy it on the street that it's easier to buy than cook it yourself. So thank you so much, Chef Pia. Kap kun maka. And of course,
ครับ
Bambina and the Team Manila House. And it's always a delight to be collaborating with you. And thank you as well to our audience who joined and learned more about Thai cooking, especially Pad Thai and Chayan. And who ate and accompanied us this afternoon. So the next one, as we have mentioned earlier, is on Filipino food. So our next Southeast Asian digital food crawl will be featuring Chef Kenneth Cacho of the Unilever Food Solutions, and he has an exciting episode as well on the Filipino boodle fight.
Oh.
So watch out for that. Are you familiar with that, Chef Boodle?
Yes, I had that in Cebu. I love it.
Yes, yes. So that's on November 19 at 6 p.m. And lastly, this wouldn't have been possible without our partnership and collaboration again with Manila House. And of course, my very, very great team, Pat, Pam, Kit, and Amy. Thank you and see you all again, Bambina and Chef.
Thank you so much for
Thank you so
collaborating with
much for
us.
having
As
us.
usual, it's been a pleasure, and we look forward to the next. And thank you, Chef, for
Yes,
sharing your
yes.
Thank you.
secrets
Thank you.
with us today. Okay.
Bye. Good
Bye. Thank you,
afternoon.
Bye
everyone.
bye.